Hello dear students, I have got another chance to meet you. Actually, happiness echoes my heart when I stand in front of you and conduct my classes. I hope all of you are hale and hearty by the grace of Almighty, and you are participating in the live classes conducted by some prominent teachers of Dhaka College. I'm sure you are taking the advantages of these live classes, and with the teachers are doing our best to provide you with some effective knowledge about different subjects, and I am one of them. Today I will focus on Modifier that I started 2 classes before. This is our third class on Modifier. That's why in the routine there was written Modifier 3. I would like to recap. In my first class I focused on the definition of modifier, the classification of it, and I completed the question pattern. And as far as I can remember, I completed up to adjective and noun adjective under the segment pre-modifier. My second class consisted of quantifier, demonstrative, possessive, intensifier. Okay, today I will talk about compound as pre-modifier, and after compound there will be some effective lectures regarding participle, phrase and adverb. So I am willing to have your participation during this live class. I hope all of you will stay with me till my lecture comes to an end. So my dear students, let us start with segment number 8 under pre-modifier. What was there at number 8 under pre-modifier? I was talking about pre-modifier. And under pre-modifier today I will start 8. And what was that? It was we need to learn compound. And before in order to learn it, we need to know what compound is. And after learning about compound, we will learn what is modified by compound, and we will have to give some examples. At first, compound. We are talking about compounds in modifier. Okay. Here, compound refers to a connected word. Connected with the help of hyphen. For example, suppose high is an adjective. Temper is a noun. If I say tempered, it would be adjective. If I say high tempered, if I say ill tempered, look at this has been constructed with the help of 2 words, high and tempered. The second was ill and tempered. Wave based. Look at, there are 2 words, but these 2 words are connected with the help of hyphen. When 2 or more than 2 words are connected with the help of hyphen. I am going to repeat, dear students. When two or more than two words, these words might be of different parts of speech. When two or more than two words are connected with the help of hyphen to make one single word, it's called compound. And this compound usually modifies noun. The students, compound modifies noun. So what type of parts of speech? What type of parts of speech is compound? When it modifies a noun. Compound actually or normally works as adjective when it modifies a noun. So in modifier part, in the part of modifier, compound usually modifies noun and it works as adjective. Okay, and how we can construct compound? How we can create compound? We have to put hyphen in between two words or among three or four words, and if we can connect two or more than two words with the help of hyphen, a compound word is created. Look at example. Look at, we are going to give you another example. Brick built. Look at brick built. Brick built. Brick built castle. Look at the student. Brick built castle. Here castle is a noun and this castle is modified by brick built, and brick built has become a compound. Is it clear to you? And what is the demand of the question? In the bracket you will be asked, pre-modify the noun with compound or use compound to pre-modify the noun. Is the question pattern clear to you, dear students? Pre-modify the noun with compound or use compound to pre-modify the noun. It's time to give some examples, and dear students, you are requested to be ready with your answer. Please write in the comment box. Now it is your time to write the answer in the comment box. In my previous class, after the end of my previous class, I went to check your comments in the comment box. Most of the answers that you wrote were correct. Some of them were wrong. Today you are requested to try your level best so that you can give me the best answer from your side. So my first question on compound. Look at this, students. Bangladesh is an, suppose this is question number E. Bangladesh is an dash, start first bracket, use compound to pre-modify the noun. Bangladesh is an dash. In the dash you have to use a compound to pre-modify the noun. What is the noun? Have I written the noun? I haven't, but I'd like to. The noun is here. Bangladesh is an dash country. Dear students, write your answer in the comment box. I will check it. What should be the answer, dear students? Have you written your answer? One student has written agriculture based, another student has written agro based. Every answer is correct if you can conjunct two or more than two words with the help of hyphen. And look at this is an. You have to start with vowel sound. So what is the answer? What should be the answer? Some student has written. Can I say, dear students? Can I say? Dear student, can I say agro-based? Can I say agro-based? Agro-based is an excellent answer. Can we say? Can we say overpopulated? Yes, both of them are appropriate. One student has written agricultural. Agricultural cannot be taken. Sorry, my dear students. Agricultural cannot be taken because it has become an adjective. It has not been compound. In order to create compound, you must have to use hyphen. You must have to ensure the use of hyphen. Okay. Should I give you another example? Yes, I should. Look at. And suppose this is question number B. Remodify the noun with compound. Remodify the noun with and dash expedition. And dash expedition was ensured to tackle the situation. And dash expedition was ensured to tackle the situation. Dear students, look at. You have to modify the noun expedition. You have to modify the noun expedition. And what is the only instrument by which you can modify the noun? According to the question. What is the only instrument to modify the noun according to the question? The only instrument by which you can modify the noun according to the question is compound. Write down on your answer. Okay. This question seems to be difficult for you. Look at. And that means you have to start with vowel sound. You can create any compound, but that compound must be relevant to the sentence. Can I say this is the answer of question number B? Look at the board. I have written an answer. Army led. Army led means an expedition which was led by the army. Look at. An army led expedition was ensured to tackle the situation. Okay. One student has written extraordinary. The answer is really correct. Look at please. Any other answer that you want to share? Try to write the answer according to the demand of the question. You must have to write you must have to make a compound, and a compound is created only when two or more than two words are connected with the help of hyphen. So dear students, this is all about compound. Now I'd like to start with the segment that is given at 9. Now our ninth topic for discussion, and it is participle. So let us start with topic number 9 under pre-modifier, and that is participle. Dear students, what is participle? What is participle? Look at please. This topic will take a lot of time. And if you can understand participle, you will feel comfortable. In transformation also. There are some rules related to participle. Okay, look at the board. You know that there are 8 parts of speech. I have told you that, and you know they are noun, pronoun, adjective, verb, adverb, preposition, conjunction and interjection. Noun, pronoun, adjective, verb, adverb, preposition, conjunction and interjection. Dear students, we need to something more about verb. We need to know something more about the verb. Verb is classified into 2 parts at first. Dear students, verb is classified into 2 parts at first. Dear students, verb is classified into 2 parts at first. Look at. Finite verbs, number 2. Non-finite verb. Look at please. Verb is classified into 2 parts. One is finite, another is non-finite verb. I talked about finite and non-finite verb in my first class when I talked about transformation of simple, complex and compound. I am going to repeat the knowledge that I shared with you at my first class. Finite verb, non-finite verb. Finite verbs are those, look at the board. I want to learn English. Yes, students, I want to learn English. There are 2 verbs. The first one is want and the second one is to learn. The first one is want, the second one is to learn. And do you know the tense of the sentence? Dear students? Identify the tense of the sentence. This is present indefinite tense. How can we say that this is an example of present indefinite tense? Dear students, how can we say that this is an example of present indefinite tense? Because the structure that is used in the sentence belongs to present indefinite. Subject, then the present form of the verb. So we can identify the tense of the sentence with want, but we cannot identify the tense of the sentence with to learn. So want is such a verb by which you can identify the tense of the sentence, but to learn doesn't help us to identify the tense of the sentence. The verb by which we can identify the tense of the sentence is called finite. The verb that doesn't help us to identify the tense of the sentence is called non-finite verb. So what is the finite? The finite is want. What is the non-finite verb? The non-finite verb is to learn. So with finite verb we can identify the tense of the sentence, but with non-finite verb we are not allowed to identify the tense of the sentence. Have you got me? Finite verbs are those by which we can identify the tense of a sentence. Non-finite verbs don't help us to identify the tense of the sentence. Okay? Look at, without gaining knowledge, you can't be a good natured person. Without gaining knowledge, you can't be a good natured person. Look at the board. Gaining is a verb, can't be. Here can't is auxiliary, be is main verb. These two verbs are working as one verb. Be careful. Gaining is a verb, can't be verb. Can you say that which one is finite and which one is non-finite, dear students? Can you say, what do you think, whether gaining is finite or non-finite? Look at, can you identify the tense of the sentence with gaining? I don't think so. That's why you can say gaining is a non-finite verb. You can identify the tense of the sentence. You can identify the tense of the sentence with the verbs can't be. This can't be can be called finite verb. Is it clear to you? We read to satisfy the hunger of mind. The students, we read to satisfy the hunger of mind. We read to satisfy the hunger of mind. Which one is finite and which one is non-finite? Look at the board. Give me the answer. Read is the finite verb. To satisfy is the non-finite verb. Because the verb read helps us to identify the tense. But with to satisfy, we cannot identify the tense. Is it clear to you? There is another formula. In this sentence, read is such a verb which has a subject. And what is the subject of read? The subject of read is we. Does the verb to satisfy have a subject in the sentence? The students, does the verb to satisfy have a subject in the sentence? I don't think so. Here, read has subject in the sentence, but to satisfy doesn't have any subject in the sentence. Now I can say the verb which has a subject in the sentence is called finite. The verb which doesn't have a subject in the sentence is called non-finite. I have given you two formulas. Finite verbs have subject in the sentence, non-finite verbs don't have. Finite verbs help us to identify the tense of a sentence, non-finite verbs don't help us. Is it clear to you? So, up to this part we have got we have been able to identify finite and non-finite verb, okay? Finite verb helps us to identify the tense of a sentence. Number one, finite verbs have subject in the sentence, but non-finite verbs don't have. Clear to you? Non-finite verb, next to a non-finite verbs, non-finite verb is classified into another three types. Non-finite verbs are classified into another three types. That means non-finite verbs are of three types. Number 1, infinitive. Number 2, participle. Number 3, gerund. Look at the board, dear students. This is very, very important for you. Look at the board, dear students. Verb is classified into 2 parts, finite and non-finite. Non-finite verb is classified into another 3 parts, infinitive, participle, gerund. Non-finite verbs don't have any subject in the sentence. Non-finite verbs don't have any subject in the sentence. With non-finite verbs, we are not able to identify the tense of a sentence. This non-finite verb is classified into 3 parts, infinitive, participle, gerund. So, infinitive is in the list of non-finite verbs, and so do participle and gerund. I am going to repeat the sentence. Infinitive is in the list of finite verbs, and so are participle and gerund. Okay, so infinitive, participle, gerund are in the list of non-finite verbs. So infinitive will not have any subject, or with infinitive we are not allowed, or we will not be able to identify the tense of a sentence. So infinitive, participle, gerund don't help us to identify the tense of the sentence. Infinitive, participle, gerund don't have any subject in the sentence. Can I say? Okay. Have you got me, dear students, up to this part? Non-finite verbs are of 3 types: infinitive, participle, and gerund. What is our target of discussion here? Our target of discussion is participle, dear students. Our target of discussion is participle. So participle comes from non-finite. Non-finite comes from verb. So participle comes from verb. So I can say participle is one kind of verb. Can I say that, dear students? Participle is one kind of verb. Can I say that? Participle is one kind of verb. But keep one knowledge, keep one issue or thing in memory, and that is all participles are forms of verbs, but all forms of verbs are not participle. I am going to repeat. All forms of participles are verb, but all forms of verbs are not participle. Okay? Here infinitive is also important for modifier. Infinitive is also important for modifier. When I will start a phrase, this infinitive will be needed by us. But I don't want to talk about infinitive right now. At first, let me talk about participle in detail. Definitely one question will come from participle in modifier. In modifier, definitely one question will be given from participle. So, up to this part, have you got me, dear students? One of my students has a question: what is the difference between participle and gerund? I haven't completed my discussion. Wait for a while. Everything will be crystal clear to you. Now, I'd like to talk about participle. Dear students. Participle. I have a question for you. From where has participle originated? From which parts of speech has participle originated? Dear students, tell me the answer. From which parts of speech does participle originate? What is your answer? Definitely from verb? Definitely from verb. Be careful. Now I am going to give you the definition of participle. Participle is the form of verb. Can I say? Participle is the form of verb, but this form of verb must work as adjective. So I can give you the definition. Participles are the forms of verbs. Participles are the forms of verbs which work as adjective. Look at the sentence, dear student. This is really important. Participles are the forms of verb which work as adjective. So I can say participles work as adjective, dear students. Participles work as adjective. Okay. When does a participle work as adjective? We have to consider. Non-finite verbs are of three types: infinitive, participle, gerund. Non-finite verbs come from verb. So infinitive, participle, gerund come from verb. Participle comes from verb, I can say. Participle comes from verb, I can say. The form of verb working as an adjective is called participle. So participle is one form of verb which works as an adjective. Is it clear? I am going to give you one example by which I will try to prove that verbs can also work as adjective. Verbs can also work as adjective, and this adjective is called participle. The form of verb which works as adjective is called participle. Look at please. The helped students improved their condition. Look at the helped students improved their condition. Look at the board, dear student. The helped students improved their condition. Look at the board, dear students. The helped students. Here the noun is students. This noun is modified by helped. Dear students, this noun is modified by helped. So can I say that? Helped is an adjective? Definitely I can say. This helped has become an adjective because it has modified students, and this helped is the past participle form of the verb, and definitely I can say that it's a participle. I don't know which participle this is, but I can say that this is a participle because this modifies the noun and this helped has come from verb. Helped is the past participle form of the verb. Can I say? Look at the sentence. If you have any question, please write in the comment box regarding this issue. I am going to give you another example. William Shakespeare, the greatest dramatist of the world, has written one line, and that is, life is but a walking shadow. Life is but a walking shadow. Look at, please, look at the board. Life is but a walking shadow. Dear students, one question for you. Is there any participle in the sentence? Write in the comment box. Is there any participle in the sentence? And what is the word? Is there any word? Is there any participle in the sentence? If you get any right, please write. Okay, one student has written, and that is walking. Walking is a participle. How can we say that walking is a participle? Because this walking has modified shadow. Shadow is a noun. Shadow is a noun. This shadow is modified by walking, and walking is the ing form of the verb. So this ing form of the verb, this is one form of verb, and this form of verb is working as adjective. So I can say that this is a participle. Okay, another example for you. A dying patient was rescued. A dying patient was rescued. A dying patient was rescued. Dying. Okay? A dying patient. Here, dying modifies patient. Okay? Dying is a form of verb. That's why you can say that it's a participle. So, up to this part, I think you have been able to identify participle. Participle is that form of verb. Participle is that form of verb working as adjectives. Working as adjectives. Clear to you, my dear students? Up to this part, I have given you the definition of participle, and I have given you some examples. Now, let us learn the classification of participle. Participles are of three types. Present participle, past participle, participle. Look at, please. Participles are of three types: present participle, past participle, perfect participle. Okay? Look at the board. I am going to repeat. Present participle, past participle, and perfect participle are under participle. Participle is classified into three parts. Participle is classified into three parts. They are present participle, past participle, and perfect participle. Present participle, past participle, perfect participle are in the list of participle. I have told you that participles work as adjective. So, present participle, past participle, and perfect participle also work as adjective. Can I say? Present participle, past participle, and perfect participle are included in participle. Participle, present participle, past participle, perfect participle come from participle. Participle comes from non-finite verb. Non-finite verb comes from verb. So, can I say that present participle, past participle, perfect participle come from verb? Yes, I can. All the participles work as adjective. All the participles, present participle, past participle, perfect participle work as adjectives. Present participle works as adjective, and so do past and perfect participle. There was a question in the admission test of Dhaka University. There was a question in the admission test of Dhaka University in 2003. In 2003, there was a question in the admission test of Dhaka University in 2003. And what was the question? This question was given from participle. The question was participles work as dash. Look at the question was what should be the answer? Noun, verb, adjective, adverb. What is the answer? What should be the answer? Participles work as dash. What is your answer? Noun, verb, adjective, adverb. Have you got me, dear students? Look at the board. Participle work as dash. Definitely the answer was adjective. It was given in the admission test of 2003 in C unit, in the unit of commerce students. So you have got the classification. I think you have understood the classification of participle. Participles work as adjectives, dear students. Don't forget it. Don't forget it. Now I'd like to talk about present participle, past participle and perfect participle. And you can write in your scripts. You can write in your scripts. Now let us start with present participle. Present participle, past participle and perfect participle work as adjective, but they can be identified. Present participle, past participle and perfect participle can be identified with their individual structures. Each of the participles has its own structure. Each of the participles has its own structures. Okay? Present participle. What is the structure of present participle? It's verb plus ing. What is the structure of present participle? Is verb plus ing. Past participle, you know, past participle form of the verb. I have simply written V3. Past participle form of the verb, and this perfect participle having plus V3. Look at the structure of present participle, past participle and perfect participle. Okay? Present participle verb plus ing, past participle, that means the past participle form of the verb. Perfect participle has the structure. There must be having, and after having we have to use the past participle of the verb. But be careful. Verb plus ing added form, verb plus ing added form can be present participle only when it works as adjective, dear students. Verb plus ing added form works as present participle only when it is an adjective, otherwise not. I would like to give some examples of present participle, past participle and perfect participle. If you have any more question, you can ask me after I have completed my discussion. Present participle verb plus ing, and it works as adjective. Past participle, the past participle form of the verb, it works as adjective. Having plus past participle, this is the structure of perfect participle. It also works as adjective. I would like to give 3 examples for 3 participles. I saw a flying bird. I saw a flying bird. Dear students, I saw a flying bird. I saw a flying bird. Flying bird. Here flying modifies or qualifies bird. Bird is a noun. Bird is a noun and this bird is modified by flying. This bird is modified by flying. And what is the structure of flying? It has been constructed with the help of verb plus ing. Fly plus ing is equal to flying. This flying modifies noun. Can we say that this is an example of present participle? Yes, I can. Past participle. My repaired look at please present participle past participle look at the board, dear students. Name, structure, example. Okay, look at the board. The first one I wrote. Past participle. My repaired computer is working well. Look at please. My repaired computer. Computer is a noun. This noun is modified by repaired. Repair is a verb and the past participle form is used here. The past participle form is repaired. And this repaired modifier, this repaired modifies computer. Okay. Now I'd like to give you the third example of the third example for perfect participle. Having bought a pen, I went to college. Having bought a pen, I went to college. Having bought, this is an example of perfect participle. So dear students, up to this part, I have talked about verb, the classification of verb, that means finite and non-finite. I have told you how to identify finite and non-finite verbs. I have told you the classification of non-finite verbs. Non-finite verbs are of three types: infinitive, participle and gerund. Participles work as adjective and participles are of three types: present participle, past participle, perfect participle. Present participle works as adjective but it has a structure like verb plus ing. Past participle means V3, perfect participle means having plus V3. Now look at the board. What type of question is given in modifier? What type of question is given in modifier? Actually, look at the board there, students. No question is given. No question is given from perfect participle. No question is given from perfect participle, dear students. Only questions are given from present participle and past participle. Okay, one of the students had a question. There is a question from you. What is the difference between present participle and gerund? I am going to tell you. Gerund has the same structure. Gerund has the same structure as present participle. Gerund is constructed with verb plus ing. Present participles is also created. Present participle is also created by adding ing with the verb or in the verb. You can. So, present participle, verb plus ing. Gerund, verb plus ing. Both of them have the same structure, and that is verb plus ing. Present participle and gerund have the same structure, have the same formation, and they have the formation like verb plus ing. But there is a basic difference between present participle and gerund. I am going to repeat. There is a close difference between present participle and gerund. Present participle is formed by adding verb plus ing. Okay, we can construct present participle by adding ing with the verb. We can also construct gerund by ing with the verb. But present participle works as adjective. On the other hand, gerund works as noun. Both of them have the same structure, but present participle works as the adjective and gerund works as the noun. Okay. I think I can give an example to differentiate the concept between gerund and present participle. Look at please. Walking is a exercise. Life is but a walking shadow. Look at, walking is a good exercise. Here walking, this is also walking, this is also walking. Here walking is working as the subject. What is the subject of the sentence? The subject of the sentence is working. Here walking is the subject of the sentence. Only noun and pronoun can be the subject of a sentence. Only noun and pronoun can be the subject of a sentence. If any clause or if any phrase becomes the subject of the sentence, they are called noun phrase. Only noun and pronoun can be used as the subject. Here walking has become a noun, and we have seen that this verb has ing with it. But look at this example. This walking modifies or qualifies shadow. That's why we cannot call it noun. We have to say it's an example of participle, because we have to say that it's an example of adjective, because it modifies shadow. Shadow is a noun. That's why this is an adjective. And how we have constructed this adjective? We have constructed this adjective by putting ing with the verb. This is called present participle, and this is gerund. Gerund works as noun. On the other hand, present participle works as adjective. I think you have got the basic difference between present participle and gerund. Now, so under non-finite verb, I have completed gerund and participle. Okay. Now I'd like to tell you the question pattern that comes from participle. After participle, we will start with phrase. In phrase, participle will be working. That means we have to keep the knowledge of participle while we will start phrase. Participle is important in the part of phrase. Okay, infinitive is important in the part of phrase. But now I am not going to talk about infinitive or phrase. I would like to give you questions from participle. Look at. Bangladesh is this is question number C. Suppose pre-modify the noun with pre-modify the noun with present participle. Bangladesh is a dash country. Look at. Now you have to modify the noun country with what? With present participle. This question can be given. Use present participle to pre-modify the noun. What is your answer, dear students? What is your answer here? Use a present participle. Use a present participle to pre-modify the noun. Should I say? Developing? Should I say developing? Okay, someone has written Bangladesh is a blessed country. No problem. Your answer is also correct. Bangladesh is a loving country. Okay, no problem. Here blessed is past participle. Developing present participle, loving present participle. Okay. If the question is like pre-modify the noun with, sorry, this answer cannot be taken because here I have used present participle. Here I have used present participle, dear students. Don't use any past participle. If I say pre-modify the noun with participle, developing, blessed, loving, all are appropriate. Okay. If I say pre-modify the noun with past participle, this answer cannot be taken, only blessed can be taken. Have you got anything regarding question pattern? I think you have got. So dear students, I have taken a lot of time to discuss participle in detail. I am going to repeat. Verbs are two types. One is finite, another is non-finite. Non-finite verb is classified into three parts. They are infinitive, participle and gerund. Gerund works as a noun and the construction is verb plus ing. If we want to construct gerund, we have to put ing with the verb. For participle, participles work as adjective. The forms of verb which work as adjective are called participles. Participles are of three types. They are present participle, past participle and perfect participle. All the participle, that means present participle, past participle and perfect participle work as adjective. Present participle can only be created by adding verb plus ing with the verb. Past participle means the last form of the verb, that means V3. We have said perfect participle is created by adding having plus V3, using having plus V3. Okay, the difference between gerund and present participle has also been clarified, and I have given you some examples of participle that are usually given in modifier. So dear students, I don't want to continue anymore today. In my next class, I will talk about phrase and adverb. Phrase is really important because in your first paper at question number 2, you have to write flowchart. You are to write flowchart in order to write flowchart, you need to use phrases. You need to use phrases. For question number 9 of English second paper and for question number 2 of English first paper, phrase is really important. And if you want to make your writing side very effective and very gorgeous, you need to write a lot of phrases. And we are going to have our upcoming lecture on phrase. So don't miss the class. And now I'd like to thank all of you who are with me during this live class, willing to have more participation from your side. So dear students, thank you for being with me. I'd like to invite you to my next lecture that will be held soon, and follow the routine of Dhaka College that is given online. And this is all for today. Thank you. Stay well and blessed. Goodbye.